If you're looking to grind mounts all day and gain over 50 mounts for your collection, then you're in luck because we're going to run through 50 mounts you can obtain in one day. I will assume you've at least unlocked all of the expansions, but if you haven't, the Zygor add-on will help you out with that, so check that out in the description below. The first ones up are going to be the Harbour Gryphon and the Scarlet Pterodax, and these come for Horde and Alliance. You can pick the Alliance one up in Borealis or the Horde one up at the Great Seal in Zuldazar, and it's literally just speaking to an NPC, finishing a quest, and you'll get that mount. Next is going to be the Insatiable Shredclaw. This is looted from a treasure found in the south end of Voidstorm. You will have to go through a gauntlet, and once you successfully complete the gauntlet, it will be in the treasure at the end. Next is the Black Drake or the Twilight Drake, both from Obsidian Sanctum, found in the Wormrest Temple in Northrend. You'll head there, you'll go inside on either 10 man or 25 man, you'll kill the boss in the middle, and you'll get one of the mounts, and then you'll come back on the other difficulty on an alt, and you'll get the other mounts, so you have to do it both on 10 man and then 25 man. Next up is the Wildseed Cradle, and this will be found in Ardenweald, and all you have to do for this is loot the 5 items found around the garden here. They're all going to be relatively hidden but fairly easy to spot. Once you've collected all 5, you'll combine them together. You'll then head over to Turnaval and there'll be an NPC you can hand the basket into. They'll give you a buff, and right behind them, once you've got the buff, you'll see a chest that you can loot for the Wildseed Cradle. The next mount will be the Shimmermist Runner that you'll find in Ardenweald. And for this, you have to run a path like a maze in a very particular way. If you do ever mess up and go the wrong way though, make sure you start at the very top of the ramp just before the lamp and pass through the lamp again when you try again. But follow the order that I'm going through now, and once you're in the final room, if you've done it correctly, you should see Shizgear, if the rare is alive at least, and defeating them will give you the Shimmermist. Next up will be the Slime Serpent, which will come at 100% drop chance if you've done it solo on Mythic or Heroic, and that is going to be the Plaguefall dungeon found in Maldraxxus. You want to run through this dungeon, make sure you kill all of the bosses. Once you've killed the final boss, you'll go back to where the third boss was, and in the slime area nearby, you'll find the Slime Serpent. The next one up is going to be a bit conditional. You will need the Broken Throne Ritual site up, which is going to rotate every week. There's a 50-50 chance that they're up right now, which is why I want to talk about them. Before you go to the ritual site though, make sure you have in your bag 6 practically pork, and from that we'll be able to get ourselves 2 mounts, so you can head inside on at least tier 2 difficulty. The first mount up in here we'll talk about is the Void Corrupted Hex Eagle, and first of all you'll head over to this area, and just kind of hidden a little on the ledge will be the Misplaced Ritual Candle. You're going to loot that, and then very close by will be this Ritual Circle. There'll be a candle in the middle, you don't want to click that yet. Slightly on the side will be a skull, and you want to place the candle on top of the skull. Once that is done, you can click the ritual site in the middle, and that will spawn an elite. You'll kill the elite, you'll get the mount. The next mount in here will be the Witherbark Warbear Mother, and for this you need to get a pet first of all, so head over here, jump down from the stairs, and next to the tree will be a pet hidden, a little cub, and you want to feed it one of the practical pork. Once you've done that, you can learn the pet and summon it. Make sure you do summon it. Head up the stairs and over to here, and now you'll have the Angry Amani Warbear spawn. You're going to defeat that. Once you defeat it, you'll be able to feed it the pork, and you'll get yourself the mount. Next up is going to be a new one in patch 12.1, and that will be the Delver's Arcane Golem. For this, head to the Naldor Isle Delve, and you can do this on any tier difficulty. Head inside, this will be on the Coiled Isle. And once you're inside, you're looking for a sturdy chest. It's going to be on the left side at 60-68. It's going to be kind of behind this ruined structure. You'll loot that chest and you'll get yourself the mount. This will take no time at all. The next one up will be the Ancestral Warbear found in Zul'Aman. First of all, you'll want to head to the chest, which is hidden underneath this tree. There'll be an entrance on the left side of the tree. Go inside, click on the chest, and now what we need to do is hunt down 4 of these kind of totems. Going to be 4 scattered across the zones at each of the lower areas. You're going to click those, this will summon a spirit, you'll defeat the spirit and you'll get one of the 4 items. Once you have all 4 in your possession, you're going to head back to the chest. Now you'll be able to open it and loot the Ancestral Warbear. The next mount will be the Amani Battle Bear, and this is going to come from the old Zul'Aman dungeon. To access that, you'll first need to go to Eastern Plaguelands at the very entrance to the Quel'Thalas area. And there's going to be a Bronze Drake NPC that you can speak to that will revert the zone back to the old phasing. Once that is done, you want to head to the old Zul'Aman, and there's going to be a dungeon there for you to complete. All you have to do is kill the first 4 bosses within a specific time period, which will be very trivial at max level. You're going to kill all 4 of them, and on the final one that you kill, it doesn't really matter which order you take. The final one you kill, you want to release the prisoner and wait for them to do whatever they're doing, and eventually they'll give you a loot chest, and inside that will be the Amani Battle Bear. If the bear isn't in that final chest, I would recommend going back to the other 3 bosses and releasing the captives there too, and checking their loot to see if it's been misplaced. The next mount up is going to be the Magmashell, and you have 2 options for this. You can either purchase the empty Magmashell off the auction house for a few thousand gold, or you can go and grind the slugs found in kind of the Obsidian Citadel area. It's going to be the south end around kind of like the lava pools and stuff. There'll be these slugs and snails. And these will have a decent chance of dropping an empty Magmashell. Once you have that, you're going to head kind of to the northeastish of the zone to this lava pool. And inside the lava pool will be a slug unless someone has done it recently. It does take a few minutes to respawn. What you need to do now is go into the lava and use the empty Magmashell on it. But you need to be able to survive the lava long enough to live. So use things like turtle before you go in the lava, or have a bunch of heals rolling on yourself. Whatever it is you can do to survive, you just need to live long enough for that cast to finish, and then you've got yourself the mount. The next mount for us to talk about will be the Stormhide Salamanther, and for this what you want to do is head off to the Forbidden Reach. There's going to be a bunch of rares around this area for you to fight. People don't really go there anymore, so the rares are typically always up. Just fly around and kill 3 to 4 rares, and that'll give you this elemental overflow currency. Once you have 2,000 of it, you want to then head to Valdrakken, and there's going to be an NPC in this building here that will sell you the Stormhide Salamanther for 2,000 of that currency. The next mount will be the Gilnean Prowler, and this will come from a short quest line. If you're Alliance, you can pick this up from Stormwind near the harbour, and if you're Horde, you're actually going to have to go all the way to Silverpine Forest, and you'll find it here to start the quest chain. Once you're done with that quest chain, you'll be awarded that with the mount. The next mount up will be Garn Nighthowl, and this you'll find within Frostfire Ridge. It's going to come from a mob called Notkarosh, or you can just purchase off the auction house for a few hundred gold instead. But there'll be this big elite here. It takes about 15 minutes to respawn, and when you kill it, it'll guaranteed give Garn Nighthowl. The next mount, Sarge's Tail, we're going to be heading into Hearthstone for. If you've never played Hearthstone before, download the game, skip the tutorial. When you're on the main menu, you might have to loot some items from the kind of the inbox on the left. Press escape and skip the apprenticeship. It'll give you some warnings so you want to skip. Now you're going to go down to modes and find the mercenaries mode, and you're going to play through the tutorials until you get the Baron's bounty for the Quillboar. Start the Baron's bounty for Quillboar, and you'll now have a pop-up saying you've been awarded Sarge's Tail in World of Warcraft. The next mount will be Aerial Unit R21X, which will drop from the Mechagon dungeon on Mythic on 100% drop chance. So you want to head inside on Mythic. The criteria though, we have to do this on hard mode. To do that, you need to do some criteria along the way. First of all, in the first 3 bosses, you'll find kind of a robot flying above one of them. You want to always head to the boss that has the robot above it. Kill the first 3 bosses. Once they're dead, now you'll make your way to the 4th boss, and the robot in the middle should now be a Mark II instead of a Mark I. That'll kind of identify that you've done it correctly. This 4th boss was difficult in the past because it would one-shot you with its mechanic, but that doesn't happen anymore, especially if you use a defensive and you're max level in Midnight, so that shouldn't be a problem. Just use a defensive just in case. But what you want to do is when you've killed the robot, there'll now be an active pylon on either the left or right side. Make your way to the pylon and keep clicking it until it's charged up. Once it's fully charged, you can now defeat the boss, and that is that boss completed. The 5th boss has no criteria, so simply kill it. Make your way to the 6th boss. Before you pull the 6th boss though, there is going to be an item for you to click on the left side of the room. You're going to click this, it'll fly into the furnace. Once that is completed, you can now kill this boss. Now make your way to the next boss. That's not going to have any criteria either. And then onto the final boss. And all you need to do is click the button that'll be there. If the button's not there, you've gone wrong somewhere. If it is there, it means you can now get the hard mode completed. You're going to click the button and you now have a timer to kill the boss. Once again, as a max level character though, you'll do this in plenty of time, so not a concern at all. Once that is done, you can loot the boss and you'll get yourself that mount. The next mount will be the Vashir Seahorse, and this isn't going to be usable anywhere outside of Vashir, but it is a +1 to your collection. What you need to do for this is start the quest line for Vashir from either Stormwind or Orgrimmar. It's going to be on the harbours of both. And once you get far enough in the quest chain, you'll have a quest to kind of tame a seahorse. Once that is completed, you'll get the mount usable in the zone. Next will be the Bronze Drake, and this is going to come from Clung of Stratholme on Heroic difficulty. You'll find that in the Caverns of Time. You want to head inside on Heroic, follow through the dungeon. If you ever get stuck, kind of look for main NPCs like Chromie, talk to those to kind of progress the RP. And then you're on a timed run, and you basically just need to clear the dungeon within the time limit. Very trivial once again as a max level character. Before you get to the last boss though, there is going to be an alternative path you can take to the left. This will take you to an Infinite Corruptor. You'll kill them, and as long as you have time left, you'll get the Bronze Drake. The next mount will be the Swarmite Skyhunter, and this is going to simply come from finding all of the glyphs found across the different zones in War Within. This is going to be the base zones. So you want to use an add-on like Zygor to just help you find all the different glyphs. You're going to fly through them, move on to the next, and once you've completed all of them, you'll get that mount. Doesn't take too long. And a very similar mount will be the Crimson Dragonhawk. That's going to come from finding all the glyphs in the base Midnight zones. Once again, you can use an add-on like Zygor to pinpoint you all the different glyphs. You'll fly through them and you'll get the mount once you've completed them all. The next mount will be the Dreamlight Runestag, and if you have access to the Shadowlands zones but you haven't been Night Fae before, then I'd recommend picking this up. You'll just swap to the Night Fae Covenant and do their intro campaign quests. And very early on, you'll have to take part in a play. Once you've finished that play, you'll get the mount. It doesn't take long. Next up will be the 3 riding cranes that will come from Golden Lotus. And there's going to be two options for this. First of all, you can just kill the mobs, all the Mogu found in Vale of Eternal Blossom, especially if you find a rare elite up as well, which generally they are. You'll get a ton of rep for that. You get about 80 rep per mob you kill, and 1,600 for a rare elite you kill. And then once you do hit Revered, you can head to the Quartermaster and pick up an item that will double your reputation, so now you'd be getting 3.2k from those rare elites. Alternatively, if you don't mind it potentially being a bit slower, you can fly around all the zones looking for the Zandalari War Scouts and the Zandalari Warbringers. The benefit to this is you'll gain reputation tokens that can be used for some other factions that can give mounts as well, like the Shadowpan, and the one for Golden Lotus gives 8,000 reputation before the bonus gains. So once you hit Revered and you get that token that doubles the reputation, now you're getting 16,000 reputation from getting one Golden Lotus token, making it extremely quick. You'll get reputation tokens for some of the other factions as well, and these Zandalari Warbringers have a chance of dropping their own mounts too, so quite a nice double dip. Once exalted, you can purchase those mounts from the same Quartermaster you spoke to earlier. Next up will be the 4 secret mounts found in the Returning Horrific Visions. To get started with this, head to Dornal Gal in the southwest end. You'll find the kind of quest line to activate this. Once you have it unlocked, you need to get yourself 2 masks. The first mask will come from doing a full clear, that means killing the 4 mini bosses and the main boss. The second mask, I'd recommend putting on your first mask that you just obtained and going into Stormwind. Once in Stormwind, head to the canal over here, kill the mobs and collect the mask you can find on the pillar behind them. Now that you have 2 masks, you want to activate both of them and go into Orgrimmar. And the first mount is going to come from the Valley of Wisdom. You're going to head to the Valley of Wisdom section, you're going to clear all of it out, including the last boss. Now the elevator that will take you up to the higher section will be uncovered, you'll be able to access it. You're going to go up there and there's going to be this pile that you can click on. It'll keep spawning mobs until it spawns the main elite. You'll kill that and you'll get the first mount. Before you leave the Valley of Wisdom section though, you want to head to the tent found on the far left side, and just here next to this box will be the first item we need. Once you have that item, you want to head now to the Valley of Honor, and there's going to be the auction house found in the Valley of Honor. You're going to head inside, and inside a crate will be the second item we need. Once you have both of those items, you'll head to the drag, to the level working shop, and go inside and you'll now be able to click on a rug that will spawn a mob that you can kill for the second mount. Before we move on to the next 2 mounts, you will want to pick up the base War Within cooking materials. These will be the base kind of materials before they're processed, and also the processed variants also. If you have an auction house mount, you can just do this inside once you know what you need. Otherwise, you'll want to pick up one of each type just so you're prepared. Now that you're ready, head inside Stormwind with 2 masks active. And first of all, you want to head to the trade district. And just before the stairs where you'd go to the flight master, there's going to be a barricade and some notes around. There'll be one note on the staircase, and there's going to be one a little bit further back when you come to this kind of first section. And when you click on both of them, they're going to tell you if the food needs to be processed or unprocessed and what type of food you need. Once you have that answer, there's actually going to be a bowl next to the stairs, and you need to place the food that was stated in both of the notes into the bowl and then rattle the bowl. After a few seconds, a mob will come down. You can defeat that mob and you'll get the mount. You'll know you've done it wrong if a bunch of rats spawn instead. Now we'll want to collect 4 horseshoes, and you'll find one in the trade district, one in the mage quarter, one in Cathedral Square, and one in Old Town. Once you have all 4 of them, you're going to head to the blacksmith area in the Dwarven district, and there's going to be a furnace that you can click on. You can process the hooves that you've collected, a mob will spawn, you'll defeat that for the final mount. Next will be another cluster of 3 mounts that you can get from getting the Harandar treasures. The first will be the Untainted Grovecrawler, which requires you to come over here and loot this mallet. Once you've looted it, you'll gain a buff. You'll simply head over to the gong on the other side of this village. You'll click the gong and the chest will spawn, and inside will be the mount. The next one will be the Ruddy Sporeglider, which we'll find way off in the northwest of the zone. Under the bridge there's going to be this cauldron, and to loot it you need to loot this resin. You'll find it all the way up and down this river. So you just want to be flying up and down and looting it. It respawns quite quickly, so you just wanted to kind of do a lap of going all the way down, all the way back up, and just repeating that until you're done. And then the final one will be the Vivacious Chloreceros, and that requires you to just finish the rest of the treasures found in Harandar. Some of them will have additional steps like having to loot some items before you can get to the treasure themselves, but nothing too complicated. The next 2 are going to come from the Abundance system, which is a feature in Midnight, and this has been made a lot easier now that you can use 8 shards at once. If you don't know what these shards of Dundun are, you'll get 2 per week for picking up the weekly quest in front of wherever the Abundance event is. It should be marked on your map. You'll head there, you'll pick up the weekly and you'll get 2, and then from there you'll get the rest from doing professions, or if you loot treasures in the Zulaman zone, you'll have a pretty high chance of finding them. And you just want to do this Abundance event, use all 8 of your shards and do a run. And if you're able to contribute enough in the event by killing mobs, clicking things, looting things and handing them into shrines, you'll get more of this abundance for finishing it. Chances are once you're done, you'll end up with over 7,200 of the abundance, and you only need 6,400 per mount. So if you log on an alt, do it again, you can pick up both of the mounts in the same week. Next up will be the Auriferous Venomfang, and this one's quite easy. It's to just do all the Coiled Isle treasures, and the vast majority of them are very straightforward. They'll just be flying around and clicking some stuff and looting the treasure. There's a few with a few extra steps, but for the most part the treasures are quite easy to knock out and you can get this done in no time at all. Now we're starting to move on to some longer grinds for each of the mounts. The next one will be the Domesticated Razorback from the Steamwheeled Expedition in Draenor, and you're going to go to Nagrand there. You're going to first of all kill all of the rares that are up on the left side of the zone. These are going to give you these like claws and fangs and stuff that you can hand in directly for reputation, and then from there you're just going to farm the ogres in a loop that you can find in the uninstanced version of Highmaul, and you'll be getting these fragments and stuff that you can hand into the vendor, and you just keep repeating that until you have enough to be able to get the mount. Now you will need to get Apexis crystals also to purchase the mount. What I'd recommend doing for this is killing Doomlord Kazakh in Sinan Jungle, and you can do this on your ults as well for 1k Apexis per kill, so you just have to kill it 5 times and then ship all your Apexis to one character. Next up is going to be the Disc of the Red Flying Cloud, and this is a simple case of just flying around Pandaria, clicking on these lore-based items. Once you complete enough for an achievement, you'll receive an item in the mail as a quest item. So you want to do all of the achievements flying around clicking all of the things across Pandaria. You'll pick up these quest items, you'll take them above Mogushan Palace, you're going to hand them in. And every time you hand one in, I'd recommend flying away and coming back because that'll reset the RP and you don't have to listen to it all. And also once you hit Revered, make sure you speak to the Quartermaster and pick up the item that'll double your reputation, just to ensure you do hit Exalted from these items. Once you hit Exalted, you can purchase the mount from the vendor. Next will be the Colossal Ebonclaw Mawrat, which is going to come from the Jailer's Gauntlet, which you'll find in Torghast. And as a max level Midnight character, you absolutely blitz through this no problem. You just need to make it to layer 4 and clear that for the mount. Next will be the Rusted Proto Drake and Ironbound Proto Drake, which are going to come from the same achievement. You just need to complete the Glory of the Ulduar Raider, and the majority of the achievements in there is simply just kill the boss in a specific order or a fast time. The only 2 that might trip you up will be Iron Dwarf Medium Rare. For that, just pull the boss and let the NPCs fix the harpoons, make sure they survive long enough, and then you just basically AFK until you have enough mobs available. You'll pull down the boss. The boss will do the breath onto the mobs, and you should get enough for the achievement. If you don't, just reset the fight and continue, because your progress will be saved from the previous run. The next one will be Heartbreaker, and for that I'd recommend taking off all of your gear and using the Whole Body Shrinker, which can be purchased on a Horde character, but used on your entire account, even Alliance. And this will make you do a tiny amount of damage. You'll do about 10 to 20% per auto. You just get the boss to below 50%, the heart will come out, you'll kill the heart, and then you can kill the boss. Next is the 8 riding Talbuks that will come from the Kuranai or Maghar faction. And this is quite simple. You do the intro quest that can be found in both their hubs. That'll get you to neutral. And from there, you're just farming out ogres. You're going to farm ogres, get the war beads, get the rep from killing the ogres, rinse and repeat that until you have enough for Exalted. This should take about 2.5 hours. For the last mount, there's a few conditional ones I wanted to mention. First of all, the Zenith Hatchling from Zenith Abyss. This rare isn't killed as much, and you can find this in Onaran Plains, and when you kill it, you'll get a mount 100% of the time. Or farming for a primal egg on the Isle of Giants in Pandaria. Once you get an egg, it is a guaranteed mount once it hatches, or while you're in Warlords Draenor content, check for all of the mount rares, because the majority of them drop a mount on 100% drop chance if they're alive. If you're watching this while the Wrath of the Lich King Time Walking is still active as well, you can do the quest line for the Sons of Hodir, and the quest line with the bonus will get you to Exalted, allowing you to purchase the mounts. So that brings us to the end of the video. Hopefully you've increased your mount collection quite a lot. Outside of that, look out for more guides coming soon. Thanks for watching guys, see ya.